two brothers combined their individual musical talents to create an iconic duo that would take them to the top of the charts, as well as create a blueprint for others to follow. Sadly, health issues, illicit behavior, and a preventable death would change everything forever. Let's find out what happened to American hip-hop duo PM Dawn. Jersey City-born brothers Atrell Cordes, also known as Prince B, and Jarrett Cordes, also known as DJ Minute Mix, formed the hip-hop duo PM Dawn in 1988. The name refers to the darkest hour before the light. The boys grew up surrounded by music. Their mothers sang gospel tunes in the church, while their stepfather briefly played the conga during club appearances with R&B funk band Kool and the Gang before they made it big. Prince B began DJing parties and composing songs at the start of high school. He created a demo tape with his brother using the money that he'd earned through his job as a security guard at a homeless shelter. A little-known fact about the duo is that it wasn't a brother act at first, but a cousin act. Prince B and his paternal first cousin, Gregory, known by his stage name as Doc G or Dr. Giggles, originally made up PM Dawn. Then, Doc got into some major trouble when he fought with a high school bully who turned out to be a big-time drug dealer. A hit was put out on Doc, so he hightailed it out of there and into the Navy, leaving a spot open for B's little brother Jarrett. They first shopped their demo to Tommy Boy Records, the rap subsidiary of Warner Brothers. The label told them that they weren't, quote, hard enough, and they were also too much like another successful alternative hip-hop group by the name of De La Soul, who Tommy Boy had already signed. So they moved on and soon hooked up with independent label Warlock. They dropped the duo's debut single, Ode to a Forgetful Mind, in 1989. No one really paid any attention to the song until a record label in the UK got their hands on it. The song ended up doing much better over there, and before the duo knew it, they were getting offers left and right from most of the major UK record labels. The label that ultimately released the song in the UK, British hip-hop label G Street Records, brought the duo to London in 1990. They began recording for their debut album. However, a bankruptcy temporarily threw things off track. Eventually, Island Records acquired G Street, and PM Dawn was able to forge ahead. A couple of other singles were released in the UK before their debut album titled Of the Heart, of the Soul, and of the Cross, The Utopian Experience, dropped in the summer of 1991. The second single off the album would make the duo household names in the US as well as abroad. Set adrift on Memory Bliss, which sampled British pop band Spandau Ballet's song True, was released in August 1991. It captured the number 3 position on the UK chart and shot all the way to number 1 on the US Billboard Hot 100. It made history, becoming the first rap song by a black act to top the chart. Vanilla Ice's Ice Ice Baby and Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch's Good Vibrations were the other rap songs that had previously secured the top ranking. The follow-up track called Paper Doll, previously released in the UK, would make it into the top 40 in the US that same year. All of their success, however, didn't get them the respect from their peers one would think they would have earned. PM Dawn challenged hip-hop's limited subgenre categorization, which amplified the controversy over the legitimacy of rap that leaned toward pop music and away from a more hardcore stance. The duo was essentially using the tools of hip-hop to make music that appealed to the largely white pop audience, and a lot of people had a problem with that. With the success of the album, the band embarked on a world tour. During this tour, Prince B gave a now infamous interview to Details magazine, in which he called out several rappers. "I don't like black people. I don't like white people. I don't like that kind of thing. Once you consider yourself black or white, you're stupid. The prejudice thing is so stupid. If you are prejudiced, you are stupid. Public Enemy and people like that, they just make mountains out of molehills. KRS-One wants to be a teacher, but a teacher of what? NWA just don't do anything at all. One of the targeted rappers, KRS-One, decided to confront B about what he said. He and his group, Boogie Down Productions, responded by bum-rushing a PM Dawn performance at the Sound Factory in New York City. He proceeded to throw the duo off stage and then began an impromptu concert of their own. Later, KRS-One would receive a lot of backlash for his actions. People were especially confused since he was the founder of the Stop the Violence movement, formed after a young fan was killed at a BDP and Public Enemy concert in 1988. Prince B would later attribute the incident to simply being a publicity stunt. He also believed that the magazine interviewer had his own agenda and personal problem with alternative hip-hop and made things up to ensue drama. KRS-One would eventually apologize for the incident. Around this time, Prince B would suffer a major health crisis. He would end up in the hospital after slipping into a 3-day coma. He would then be diagnosed with diabetes. Since early childhood, B had a weight problem, and over the years, continued to eat poorly and not exercise. In 2019, his cousin, Doc G, spoke to Vents magazine about B's battle with food. He was sneaking food all the time behind my back. And with diabetes, sugary foods are the drug. It will kill you the same way cocaine will. Then one day, Eddie Murphy called. He wanted help with his upcoming album. But after the duo met up with him, he also mentioned a new movie that he was working on. He suggested that they write a song for the movie as well. In October 1992, PM Dawn contributed the single, I'd Die Without You, to the soundtrack for the 1992 romantic comedy film, Boomerang.
Anything that I would not do, die without you.
It shot to number 3 on the Hot 100 and was also included on the duo's second album, the Bliss album, Vibrations of Love and Anger and the Ponderance of Life and Existence, released in March 1993. The second single off the album, called Looking Through Patient Eyes, which samples George Michael's hit Father Figure, also became a top 10 hit. Another song to take notice of was the track Plastic. It was intended to resolve the group's previous conflict between hardcore hip-hop fans and artists and alternative hip-hop fans. It referred to the tensions between the two camps as plastic and not real. Both Prince B and DJ Minute Mix would adopt a couple of new monikers around this time. B would also be known as the Nocturnal, and Minute Mix as JC the Eternal. Their sophomore album also included the track So On and So On, which led to a sampling lawsuit in 1999. In the lawsuit, PM Dawn was accused of using unauthorized samples from a David Batiste and the Gladiators song called Funky Soul. Though their label, Island Records, went on to win the lawsuit, the song was still removed from subsequent releases of the Bliss album and is no longer available for purchase in their publishing catalog. The duo's 1995 album, Jesus Wept, didn't put up anywhere near the same numbers as their first two albums. This would be an unfortunate result since Prince B would claim after the release that this was the PM Dawn album to get if people really wanted to get to know who he was, since the albums that came before didn't really showcase that. 3 years later, the group's fourth album, Dearest Christian, I'm So Very Sorry for Bringing You Here, Love Dad, was released. The title refers to Prince B's newborn son at the time, named Christian. Again, it didn't do well, and was the first album to not make it onto the Billboard 200 album chart. In the same year, Minute Mix was accused of abusing his 14-year-old female cousin and was subsequently arrested. When asked about the accusation years later in an interview, all he had to say was that the charges were dropped and the judge dismissed the case due to a lack of evidence. In 2000, they released the compilation, The Best of PM Dawn. Through their website, they also began selling a mail-order-only album called Music. B's health continued to decline, and in early 2005, he suffered a massive stroke that left him paralyzed on the left side of his body. Undeterred, PM Dawn participated that summer on NBC's reality TV show, Hit Me Baby One More Time, featuring several other former pop stars. Despite the fact that B was still suffering the effects of his stroke, they beat out the competition to claim the $20,000 charitable prize, which they contributed to the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. Following their appearance on the reality show, Minute Mix was terminated from the group for sexual misconduct, even though some reports claimed he decided to leave on his own to pursue a solo career. This led to the introduction of Doc G, once again, into the group. Unfortunately, B would suffer 2 more strokes over the next decade. He would also have one of his legs amputated below the knee and end up in a nursing home for an extended period of time. On June 17, 2016, Prince B died of renal disease due to his long-standing battle with diabetes, leaving behind a wife and 3 children. He was 46 years old. Today, Doc G continues to perform and record music under the PM Dawn name, along with new member, producer, and songwriter K-Rock, short for Kings Respect Other Kings, who joined in 2018. For a while now, they claim to have a new album coming out. However, as of the making of this video, nothing has been released. Instead, they've put out a handful of non-album singles along the way, including their latest called Nothing's Been the Same, which dropped in March 2021. So what happened to Minute Mix, aka JC the Eternal? Well, he's definitely not happy about what Doc G has done with the PM Dawn brand since Prince B's passing. He hasn't been able to speak publicly about it much because of the pending litigation. Allegedly, back when Prince B was nearing the end of his life, Doc took the opportunity to transfer the band trademark into his own name. The duo has since even changed the original meaning of the group's name to Prime Motivators Demolishing All Warriors Now. Doc G, though, has made some claims of his own that while B was incapacitated, JC broke into B's house and stole his computer, containing the entire catalog of PM Dawn's songs. Even though Doc G and K-Rock have continued over the last several years to keep the PM Dawn name and legacy alive, fans don't seem to be very receptive of their efforts. Numerous website and social media comments call for the duo to stop pretending to be something that they're not, and that PM Dawn will always be Prince B and DJ Minute Mix. On a lighter note, celebrations are in order this year as 2021 marks the 30th anniversary of PM Dawn's debut album, Of the Heart, of the Soul, and of the Cross, The Utopian Experience. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you won't miss any future videos. See you next time.